our way to Allegheny National Forest for the Allegheny 100. A100 is a, I guess, challenge race. Not a race, but it's 100 miles unsupported on the entire North Country Trail through the Allegheny National Forest. So we'll be starting at Willow Bay, looking down to just west of Marionville is where the finish is. It's unsupported, so we're carrying all our gear, and you have 50 hours to do it. Wait for the bus. Fueling up. Almost time. What do you think, Dylan? You ready for this?
Mile zero.
Mile zero. 0 miles hiked. One mile hiked and 99 miles to go. We are 1 hour in, but I'm guessing we're about 3 miles an hour. Pretty fast group. Trail's in pretty good condition. A little bit muddy here and there, but not bad. They said it's pretty wet in this section, so kind of waiting to see that. But so far, so good. 3 miles. Do this 33 more times and we're there, right? Or almost. All right, we're about 2 hours in. Still about a 3 mile an hour pace. We're cooking along. Starting to head away from the reservoir now. There's a lot of strategies going on with this, and what pace we want, how late we're going to go, when to eat, make sure you're getting enough food and all that kind of stuff, and drinking enough water. And I think, but the most important strategy is don't get some crappy Kmart country song in your head and you can't stop singing it. That's the worst. So we're doing everything we can to avoid that. And I guess the other, maybe worse than that, would be getting a show tune in your head and you can't get rid of it. So yeah, got to cross the creek here. But so that's the strategy. We're going to walk till dark. We're going to take a 20-minute break and throw our headlamps on and keep going. See how far we can get tonight before we set up the hammock and take a nap. Still pretty out. It's gorgeous. Yeah, that's Dylan up there. He's not waiting for me.
First couple so short.
Yep. All right, we're 3 hours in. Dylan says we're 9.2 or 9.3 miles. So a little over 3 miles an hour, headed down towards that first registry. I forget what road it is. That'll be our first break. That'll be at the 10-mile mark in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. Yeah, 15 minutes. Starting to get a little darker in the woods. Hopefully we get another hour of light. Feeling good. Going downhill. I'm ready to take my shoes off though. They're soaking wet, a lot of mud. couple of creek crossings, but we're all right. All right, we're at our first 20-minute break. We're down at the creek filling up with water, changing, got my shoes off, socks off. That feels good. Gonna put some clean socks on, filling with water. It is definitely getting dark, and got our headlamps out, and we're ready for the next 10 miles. All right, coming up on 4 hours. I made it out to 321. It's getting dark. It's not as dark as it looks. Got the headlamp on, but it's still bright enough to see outside of the woods. Beautiful night. Moon's coming up and shining away a little bit. Walk on the road here for about a half a mile, get across the reservoir, and then back in the woods. Feeling good. It's a really cool night hike. Peepers are going. Heard an owl hooting a minute ago. Every now and then something scurries off to the side. Don't know what it is. Maybe Bigfoot or something. Nice flat path, steady grade up, but it's real flat. It's not rocky, so easy to navigate, and really not too bad. Making some time. I think I got a decent pace going for a night hike, and we'll take a break in another hour or so. But probably mile 14 or 15 right now. Not really sure. Sky is clear. Moon is bright. You can see it. Just a beautiful night. Be traipsing around in the woods. The jackrabbit took off at the first break. I don't think he was made for sitting around, so he's a little bit ahead of me. We'll probably catch up somewhere around Mona Falls, where we plan on spending the night at mile 25 or so. But it's really a nice hike. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but those were some coyotes getting pretty frisky. Not too far off. Just signed the logbook at 3:21. Dylan had signed it. I signed it at 11:22. Dylan signed it at 10:58, so he's 24 minutes ahead of me. He's fine. He probably left 5 or 6 minutes after him when we took the break, so he's made up 15 minutes on top of that or so. Moving right along. Probably get to camp about 3 or so. 3:30 at Route Runs, where we're shooting for tonight. Get a couple hours sleep, get up tomorrow and do it again. Got a break coming up in about an hour. Looking forward to that. Sit down, take my shoes and socks off, and then the final push down to camp. So still doing all right. Beautiful night. It is 11:40, almost midnight, Friday night, and so we're 6 hours in, still trudging along. Probably got about 7 or 8 more miles to go before camp. We're getting there. Definitely chilling off. You can see my breath now. It's chilling off. Feel good. Still in a t-shirt and shorts, but imagine if I stopped, it would cool off fast. Feels good. Nice walking weather. All right, this is the 3rd or 4th stream crossing in a row that we need to kind of going back and forth. It's not quite as fun in the dark, but interesting. Harder to find the trail in the dark when you're crossing streams. We're getting there. It's after midnight. It's now Saturday, and I'll take a break in about 20 minutes or so, figure out where I'm at, figure out how much farther. Oh, here's another stream crossing. And then go from there. see where we're going to stop and camp tonight. All right, 1:40 in the morning now, so that is what, 8 hours? 8 hours of walking so far. Probably about 22 miles, 21, 22 miles. Trying to get to 25. Still moving along. It's dark. Clouded over a little bit. You can still see the sky, but it's when I stopped for a break a few minutes ago, I turned off my headlamp and it was dark. Darker than the inside of a cow. If you lost your headlamp now, I think you just sit down and wait for morning, because there was nowhere to go. You could not see the hand in front of your face. Literally. All right, these steps start that uphill slog called, I think they call it K2. So for the next mile or two, it's all uphill. Get to the top and we're done for a little while. All right, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm coming up to Root Run, better known as Mona Falls, and I'll be there in a couple minutes. Just doing a report now, because if there's people there, I don't want to make noise. But hopefully I'll get there, swing the hammock, get a couple hours of sleep, and head out early tomorrow. Not terribly early. It's 3 now, so I guess that's early. Maybe at 7 or 8 tomorrow. Made it to camp. Got the hammock set up. It is now 3:30 in the morning. I am at Root Run. You hear it in the distance, or right next to me. It's about 5 feet away. And I'm going to lay down, get some sleep. Hopefully a couple hours of deep sleep, so we can get up tomorrow and knock out 50 or so. Good night, everybody. Woke up early. It's about 6 o'clock. I could not sleep. It was a little bit chilly. So I just decided to get up. I was hoping to sleep till 8, but I got about an hour and a half of sleep or so last night. But we're going to get up and get going and try to get some miles in. Hopefully take a nap sometime today too. My water filtration system going. There's the raw water from the creek behind you. There's the filter, and that's going into the water bottle. And then I am pouring that into the bladder in the backpack. And that's how I'm getting my fresh drinking water. 6:30 in the morning, and I'm back on the trail. About 3 hours ahead of schedule. So we'll see how this goes. To stop or what, but now maybe I'll be able to chase down Dylan. I got a text after I set up camp last night, came through that he was camped just past Root Run campground, which is where I stayed. So should be able to see him here in a minute, unless he's already up and gone too. So but eventually I'll catch up to him, right? Tortoise catches a hare. Just got a text from Dylan. Sounds like he might actually be behind me. He didn't come up the hill last night. He was just passing Root Run where I had just left, but in and out of service, so who knows when he actually sent that text. He may have passed me while I was still in bed or getting ready. So, what do you hear? We're close, it sounds like, but he's right behind me. I'm sure he'll catch me very quickly. We'll see what happens. It's about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. Feeling good. And get some miles in today. A lot of miles. There's some pretty views of the reservoir though. There's a osprey on a nest right over there. Just flew and landed on it. Pretty cool. 7:40. So we're 14 hours into this. Probably about mile 27 or something, 28. This is a steep section. Got me a little bit. So got to get up over this. Hopefully there's a downhill following. But so far so good. About 3 hours ahead of schedule, but Also about 4 hours behind on sleep, so we'll see how today goes. It's kind of a pretty spot. You can see the reservoir way down there in the distance. We are at 8:40 a.m. on Saturday, so we're 15 hours in. At about 32 miles or so, I think. Coming up on a break in a couple miles. This is a nice walk through here. This is a pretty section. Look who I found.
I think I catch you. I've been going quick too.
All right, it is 9:40 on Saturday morning. 16 hours in, and we're 34 miles, I think. Coming up on 35 miles when we hit Route 6. That's where we're going to take a break somewhere around there. 35 miles. So a little bit ahead of schedule, but still cruising along. You can see Dylan finally caught me. We'll see how long he stays up there. Got to sign in so they know we're not dead. Of course, they think Dylan is because he forgot to sign at the last place. So, what time is it? 10:15. We're at our first break of the day. Got our shoes off. Socks drying a little bit, maybe. Gonna have some lunch or whatever it is. Second breakfast, third breakfast, and relax a little bit. It's a pretty spot right next to a creek, and we'll fill up with water and get ready for the next section. A little after 10:40 on Saturday morning, so we are about 17 hours into it. Took a break, just got up, started walking again. That's kind of tough. Everything is stiff after sitting for 20 minutes. But we got about 2.5 hours. Take another break, 2.5 hours, and we'll be halfway done. So we're looking at about 5 hours of hiking to halfway, and we'll go from there, all downhill. 11:40. We're 18 hours in, and still going strong. I just stopped and put some tape on the bottom of my foot. I don't know if there's a blister growing or just a little hot spot right on my ball of my foot, on my right foot. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that takes care of it. 12:40 in Saturday afternoon. Dylan took off again when I was fixing my feet, and so I'll probably pass him again while he's taking a nap somewhere. But you have to stay tuned if you want to find out. My wife asked if she could have a little peace and quiet while she cooked dinner, so I took the batteries out of the smoke detector. A friend of mine lost 3 fingers on his right hand. He asked the doctor if he could still write with it. The doctor said maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. I called up my plumber and said, I got a leak in my sink. Plumber said, go ahead, I'm not judging. When I found out my toaster wasn't waterproof, I was shocked. My wife says I'm the cheapest man in the world, but I'm not buying it. Is butt cheeks one word, or should I spread them apart? It's 1:48 on Saturday in the afternoon. 20 hours in, 43 miles in. So we are making good pace. We're about 2 hours ahead of time. Dylan's probably 3 or 4 hours ahead of time. He's way out front somewhere. And I do have a little blister on my foot, and it looks like I left my first aid kit at the last stop, so hopefully find some tape somewhere if I need to tape it up again. But it's doing okay right now, so if this holds up, we'll be good. Open for burgers at about 4:30, so it's now 3 hours from now. Got about 8 miles to go, 7 miles to go, and should be able to make it. This is a long, long downhill to Henry's Mill. almost as hard as going up. Almost. But it is down for a long time. Big switchback. Probably would not be fun heading north. But it's hard on the knees coming down too. It is about 2:40. So whatever many hours that is. I forget now. 21 hours. 21 hours walking. Mile about 47. Almost to halfway. And doing good. We're going to get burgers hopefully there. Dylan is still way out in front. Haven't seen him in a couple hours, but beautiful trail here. It's really nice. Oftentimes along a stream. Lots of ferns, really green. Very pretty hike. Well worth it. See ya with next shot with a hamburger in my hand. Oh yeah. We have reached the halfway point. All right, we got our burgers and we got a rest, and now we're stiff as hell. But we're starting the second 50. And we're going to start it slow. This is it. This is the dreaded mountain laurel flower. And pretty. All right, it's 5:40-ish on Saturday night. We've been at it for 24 hours. And we're at about 53 miles, something like that. So I had to schedule a little bit. Still got that 2-hour buffer. Hoping to finish around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock on Sunday tomorrow. Feeling good. Just stopped, soaked our feet in the creek. We're trying to get our pace back up after a hamburger and a turkey sub. See what happens over the next couple hours. 6:40 on Saturday night. So we are 25 hours in. Somewhere around 55, 56 miles probably right now. And feeling it. But we're shooting for 72 miles tonight. I have 28 to get out tomorrow. It's supposed to rain hard at some point, but not a lot. Not for very long, I mean. That's what it says, I think. 7:40 on Saturday night. We're somewhere around 57, 58 miles probably. Got 24 hours to finish. Piece of cake, right, Dylan?
Oh, yeah.
We've been on an uphill now for about 2 miles. And it's a little bit of a struggle. But we'll get it. Fight through the rain tomorrow and finish up. It's going on 9 o'clock Saturday night. And we're at about mile, 58, 59. And this between 50, where we had hamburgers, and 60 is brutal. It's just feels like we had a good pace going, and we just weren't adding up the miles. Feels like we should be at past 60 easy by now, and we're still a mile or two from there. So we're hoping to get to 70 tonight, but I don't know. That'll be way early in the morning. Maybe a couple hours of sleep, and then see what happens tomorrow. It's about 10:30 Saturday night, and headed towards the lean-to. Got about 5 miles to go. Coming up out of Minister Creek. This trail is a mess. Just mud, slog, everywhere you look. Constantly dodging, so it's going to be slow going for a while until I get up over this hill, I suppose. Just mud everywhere. This is brutal. I got blisters on my blisters. I'm almost to the lean-to, and figure out what I'm going to do once I get there. I'll have about 32 or 3 miles tomorrow to finish up. Feet are killing me right now. Body's feeling good, but I can feel burning on the bottom of my feet. I already popped a blister, so we'll see what happens. All right, here's the story. Got to put my head down. Got 6 miles from Minister Creek Road over to, actually more like 8 miles, to the Queens Creek lean-to. Got all unpacked there. It was nice to relax for a minute and try to get my feet to heal a little bit, stretch out a little bit. And what do I got here? I got a big log. Hang on. I was hoping to get about 4 hours of sleep and get up at about 5 and then start walking, see how I felt. Go from there. Got 0 sleep. It's now 2 o'clock and walking really slow. We'll see what happens as we move along. There's a tree down here in the path. So that's where we're at. 2 o'clock in the morning, walking slow, trying to make some headway, and this tree ain't helping. Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday, 4 a.m. now. Got a couple miles in, 4 miles I think. From the lean-to, I got up at 2 o'clock and just started walking slow. My feet feel like I got sandpaper in my shoes. Blisters are bubbling up. You can feel it move around in my foot. Got to kind of walk flat-footed. So with that, I should have knocked it down to 28 miles, something like that left. Something like that. So whatever. I'm not looking at the map. I am just walking right now. Very dark. Very still. Hopefully the rain holds off. That would make it much nicer. Forest is starting to come alive. Birds are singing. The sun is peeking through a little bit, and everything's starting to brighten just a little bit. Still need my headlamp for another 20 minutes probably. Moving along, trekking down the miles slowly but surely. Sun's coming up, getting a little bit of a second wind. Let's put this away, get home, and get a couple days worth of sleep. What do you think about that, Jack? I am struggling. Changed my mind probably 10 times whether I'm going or not. If I go, it'll be 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night by the time I get there. I still need to hunt down Dylan. We'll see. Knee's starting to act up some more because I'm favoring the feet. But in 5 minutes I'll probably change my mind again and go for it. Might depend on whether I can get a ride from Kellettville to Marionville. Well, this is it. I'm in Kellettville, 75 miles, and I am done. Hopefully I can get a ride back to the car, but this is as far as I can go. This is my pace right now, probably about a half a mile an hour. So 20 miles would take me 40 hours to get there. Wouldn't be a bad trip, but. All right, trip wrap up. Made it to 3/4 way mark, 75 miles. Actually, it measures 78 miles apparently, but that's where the 75 mile challenge ends. So we made it 78 miles, 8:40 in the morning on Sunday. So still had plenty of time to make it to the 100. I just could not walk any further. My knee was aching, feet were aching. Oh, that middle 50 to 60 miles was really rough, really killed me. Got a ride to the finish line where the car is sitting, and then I got to go find Dylan. He's up by Minister Creek somewhere, and then we'll head home. So that was the experience. It was an incredible experience. 78 miles isn't bad in about 40 hours or so, 45 hours, 42 hours I guess. I don't know what it was. Somebody will figure it out. And we'll be back next year to get 100 for sure. It's a great time, great people, volunteers are awesome. Everybody on the trail is awesome. It's a lot of fun. Look forward to trying it again.